The grammar test is going to be a lot harder this year, so here are 20 things you need to remember. Number 1, capital letters. These should be used for the name of a person, name of a place, start of a sentence, title, or where the word I appears at any point in the sentence. Number 2, question marks or exclamation marks. Question marks are used at the end of a question. In speech, the question mark should be inside the speech marks. Exclamation marks are used to show volume or feelings, and the exclamation mark should go within the speech marks in speech. Number 3, dashes, hyphens, colons and semicolons. A dash is used when you want to parachute extra information into a sentence, and a dash rather than brackets is used when the main information in the sentence is the most important. So Tom, who was an alien, ate a cake. Hyphens are used to join two words together to make a word with a new meaning, such as makeup, email, lifestyle. A colon is used when you're about to introduce what you're going to say. So for example, these are my friends, Tom, Sally, Fred and Wendy, or I like these activities, squash, badminton and dance. A semicolon is used when you want to give more information, possibly about the last word in the clause. So when you put Sally cut her knee, if you want to give more information about the knee, you put a semicolon. You then have to start with a pronoun. Sally cut her knee, semicolon, it started to bleed. Number 4, commas. Commas are used for two reasons. One, to separate clauses. So for example, yesterday morning, comma, I went out. And 2, to separate items within a list. I ate apples, comma, bananas, comma, oranges and pears. And note that the final comma is replaced by the word and. Number 5, apostrophes. There are two uses of apostrophes, and the first one is to show possession, and you will see that word in the test. So for example, Tom's hat or the children's classroom. And when the noun is plural, the apostrophe goes beyond the S. They're also used for omission, which will also in the test be called contracted form. So for example, I'm not well gets contracted to I'm not well. She should not do that to she shouldn't do that, with the apostrophe replacing the missing O. Inverted commas, number 6. These used to be called speech marks. They go either side of what is actually said in the sentence. Also, bear in mind that the comma separating the speech from the rest of the sentence goes inside the speech marks. Brackets. If you have a simple sentence with one clause, like Tom fell over, if you want to parachute an extra clause into it, now called an embedded clause, it will be Tom, brackets, who was 5 brackets, fell over. Or the car stopped. The car, brackets, which had run out of petrol, stopped. Number 8, nouns. There are 4 types of nouns: common nouns, abstract nouns, which you can't touch, collective nouns for groups of things like a swarm of bees, and proper nouns, which are the name of people and places and are always capitalised. Pronouns, he, she, him, her, they, them, their, are words that you use to replace the noun in the sentence. So instead of Tom went to the doctor's, he went to the doctor's. Instead of I went to Walthamstow, I went there. Instead of Tom smiled at Sally, Tom smiled at her. Possessive pronouns are ones where my cat is replaced by mine, that's your pen, that's yours, that's Tom's seat, that's his. Number 9, adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives are words that describe the noun, so instead of the cat, you could have the big cat, the fluffy cat or the cute cat. Adverbs are words that describe the verb, how you do something, and usually end with "ly." So instead of Sally explained loudly, Sally explained sadly, or you can also have the adverb at the front of the sentence, excitedly, comma, Sally explained. Verbs. Verbs, of course, are doing words: run, eating, cried and laugh. But a modal verb is a verb that you put before the main verb in the sentence and it affects its meaning. So, 3 modal verbs, must, shall and will, show certainty when something definitely is going to happen. So, I must do my homework, I shall do my homework, I will do my homework. Whereas should, would, could, can, may, might, they show possibility. You could do it, but you might not. So, for example, these sentences sound like they should have something else on the end. I should do my homework, but I want to play with my computer. I would do my homework, but I just didn't have time. I could do my homework, but I can't be bothered. I might do my homework if I can get the energy. Conjunctions, 11. Now, these are the joining words that join 2 clauses in a sentence, and they're divided into 2 halves. Coordinating conjunctions are where both clauses make sense by themselves, and, but, and so are the main coordinating conjunctions. So, for example, I feel sad, so go to bed. I feel sad makes sense on its own, so does I go to bed. I'm happy and I'm energetic. Both I'm happy and I'm energetic make sense by themselves. Subordinating junctions, these are words that start a clause that doesn't make sense by itself. So because, if, when, while, since, however, they're subordinating conjunctions. So I go to bed when it's dark. If you just said when it's dark, doesn't really make sense. I don't do my homework because it's boring. Because it's boring doesn't make sense by itself. Prepositions, 12. These are prepositions, the clue is in the word. These are position words. Under, after, through, of, to, at, in, with, on. They can be expanded to make prepositional phrases. So all we do here is we take a preposition like under and turn it into a phrase. Under the table, after lunch, in the box, at my house. 13. Subject, verb, object. Now, the subject in the sentence is the thing that's doing whatever is happening in the sentence. The verb is the doing word, and the object is the thing it's happening to. So, subject Tom, verb hit, object the boy. Subject Sally, verb ate, object the cake. Now, the subject and the verb have to agree, which means if you get the choice between Tom bakes a cake or Tom bake a cake, well, you can probably tell just by saying it out aloud that Tom bakes a cake is the correct agreement. But there is a rule. For most verbs, they do not have an S on the end, but when you start with he, she, it, or a name of someone, you usually get an S on the end of the verb. So, he plays at school, or Tom plays at school. Now, the passive form of a sentence is one where the object starts the sentence. So instead of Tom hit the boy, it's the boy was hit by Tom. Or the cake was eaten by Sally. And these passive sentences seem to usually have a was in front of the verb. Number 14, past, present or future tense. In the present, today I play. In the past, yesterday I played. We usually add ed on, although there are many exceptions to that. And tomorrow I will play. In the simple past tense, you say yesterday I played football. But in the past continuous, it's I was playing football when, I don't know, an alien landed or something like that. It's when the action in the past is interrupted by something happening. Number 15, main clause, subordinate clause, relative clause, noun phrase. Well, we know in this sentence, in the winter, I go to the park. The main clause is the one that makes sense by itself. I go to the park. And the subordinate clause, in the winter, is the one that doesn't stand on its own. A relative clause is a clause that's parachuted into a sentence and usually refers to the first noun or name at the start. So Tom, who fell over, started to cry. That's relative to Tom. Or the car, which skidded, hit a wall. That's which skidded is relative to the car. This is a noun, fish. So these are obviously noun phrases. Phrases built around a noun. So you could add an adjective, a big fish, a possessive, who owns it, my dad's fish, or a quantifier, that's how many, lots of fish. Suffix and prefix, 16. Now, prefixes are little common letter groups that go in front of words that have a meaning. So un, mid, super, re or non. So for example, you have superhero, superstar, superman, supernatural or superstar. Again. Suffixes are little letter groups that you put on the end of words that also have a meaning. So nest, full, ish, shun, us, lee, unts, etc. Painless, thoughtless, homeless, pointless. Command, statement, question, number 17. A statement tells you information. So, tea is a drink made from hot water, tea, leaves and milk. A command tells you what to do. Make me some tea. Often has an exclamation mark at the end. And a question obviously asks you something and has a question mark at the end. Do you like tea? Direct and reported speech. Direct speech usually starts with the speech itself, and direct speech includes speech marks. So go away, scream Tom. Reported speech usually starts with the name and then a verb, often told, explained, asked or answered. So Tom told his brother to go away. Reported speech has no speech marks. Number 19, determiners. Now, determiners are the little words that go before nouns. So the articles are the car or a car. The demonstratives, almost when you're pointing, this car, that car. The quantifiers, that's how many. All cars, many cars, most cars. Or possessives, who owns the car. My car, your car, their car. Last one, 20, antonyms and synonyms. Antonym, it sounds a bit like anti-name and it means opposite. So the antonym of boy is girl, the antonym of up is down. Synonym sounds a bit like similar, which is what it means. And synonyms are words that have a similar meaning. So when describing a mountain, big, large, huge, enormous.